Adao I see, O Inyingi, seated upon mounds of body parts, covered in ashes, body parts purified, poured fluids irrigate the soil of our land, the land of our home, the home of our upbringing. Adao I see, O Inyingi, inhaling the stench from the decaying bodies of your children, the body parts of your daughters taken by tradition, a tradition of violence against you and your daughters. Adao I see mourning and weeping with a loud voice. Adao I see grieved in heart, with clothes rent and tears crystallized. Adao I see, O Inyingi.
Very dull. Please give me a sharp blade. In fact, give me tiger.
Benikuro, female circumcision, is the partial or total removal of the external female genitalia, a tradition bequeathed to us by our forefathers over a century ago. Patriarchal system of the Ijaws subjugated women by making them undergo the agony of excision of the female genitalia, carried out by native circumcisers without proper knowledge of human anatomy. By tradition, a symbol of womanhood, and thus a rite of passage to adulthood that must be accomplished from the first menstrual cycle to before the first delivery of a baby. Although that varies by region, yet every female is expected to go through the rites if you must be deemed chaste.
The falsehood of chastity through Benikuro exerted immense social pressure on families to force their daughters under the cruel liquidation of the blade. The imprecation urged at any family who failed to circumcise their daughters. Fear of being excommunicated made family conform to the tradition of be an amateur. There was this girl in my high school whose name was Temibi. She was from one of the Ijaw clans. Her father had forced her against her will to go through the rites of passage. According to her, during her last midterm break at home, her grandmother visited with a group of women, and they woke her from her slumber, and immediately she knew it was time. She struggled to break free, but the overpowering hands of the women locked her in and was dragged like an animal to the place of slaughter. And yes, she was slaughtered because she never made it out to recovery. Classmates who visited her witnessed a testament and said, "Our blood must stop those wicked violations against women." She kept on screaming. "They took away part of my body, given to me by my maker. They took what is mine away from me. My blood must fight." My classmates succumbed to the excessive bleeding that could not be stopped. And she died. She died.
How painful that fellow women were the perpetrators of this tradition. They who understand the pain were the same that became the sustainers and gatekeepers of this violent ritual against women. The skit you just watched was the story of a colleague of mine. First razor blade was blunt, and the second was blunt also. The part that we didn't show was the gruesome healing process. She said that the dry plantain leaves were wrapped together into a ball and tied together. Herbs were boiled, and the dry plantain leaf ball was soaked in the herbal hot water, and they hit it on the cut. She screamed and screamed from the scalding of the hot water, which was another round of pain. She was scared physically, scarred psychologically, and emotionally.
In the early 70s, the Benikuro practice was significantly reducing. And in the 80s, it became a rare practice. From the 90s to now, the female circumcision practice in the Izon land is officially no longer in existence. However, few still secretly practice Benikuro. In May 2015, then President Goodluck Jonathan signed a federal law banning female genital mutilation. Ijaw women, let us join the fight for the total eradication of female genital mutilation. For so long, the Ijaw woman has been in low self-esteem, suffered depression, anxiety, post-traumatic stress disorder, and lack of true conjugal bliss. Today, we rise to speak, and we speak strength to our mother. We speak healing into her waters. We say, rise up from the ashes like the phoenix.
Rise up. Rise up like the eagle and renew your strength. Wayingabo, once full of life. Though trodden down by the cruel traditions, though scared by the ones you love, and your body part taken violently from you, yet shall you live, and yet shall you stand. Art thou that woman full of strength and vigor, a woman of substance, a woman of tenacity, a woman of purpose and full of courage and love, adorned with virtues of sobriety and piety? Arise from the rivers of Delta, arise from the shores of Suku, arise from the ocean of brass, arise from Sombrero River, arise from the falls of Bonny, and put on your glamour. Adorn yourself once again, Wayingi. Put on your armor and let your nobility shine forth. Come from Alabota. Come forth, my Gele Rembo, and come forth, Ijaw woman, for your light has come.